And in those few minutes, I kid you not, this person had managed to access her WhatsApp and all her contact list, had messaged everyone asking for money.
Hata mkichinja mbuzi sijui uko chini wasichana hawafai kuwa, and I'm like, honey, what is the big deal, you know?
Is it that easy to access someone's information?
Mwizi anaweza kuja ukweli na pita na hiyo gate yako na pita na mlango, and there's nothing you could have done. But there's also that element of hukufunga hiyo kifuli.
Mtu mwenye ni haka
ataanza mbali, ataanza tu na ile information unapeana. You wake up, umeambia watu kule umeenda gym, umeambia watu kule unafanya kazi, your favorite spots, my hidden gems, my safe spaces.
Umepita na wengi. I don't think, you know, guy.
HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you will discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today.
When you hear data protection, what comes to your mind first? Today, I am joined by a beautiful, gorgeous lady who's going to talk to us about data protection and explain to us exactly what it is for the common mwananchi and how we need to understand better how to be careful while we're cruising on the internet. Joining me today on this conversation is Madam Shanice Naisenya.
Hi, Bobbie.
Karibu sana, Shanice.
Thank you.
I've been trying to get you on my seat since last year.
I'm here now.
Msichana ameadimika.
Ndio huyo mimi.
Unakuanga busy sana?
Kaa shilingi ya Kibaki wacha tu.
I love it. I love when women are so hard to get and you can't wako too available hivi. No. Shanice Naisenya is a data protection lawyer, and we're going to be having conversations largely around how to protect yourself on the internet, which is a very timely conversation because just this week, Shanice, my mom was hacked. She doesn't want to she's not telling me the full details, but maybe you can explain to us how these things happen. So we were on the phone together, and then the call just dropped and both of our phones went off. So while we were she had called me a few minutes before her phone went off, and she had told me someone is trying to access my email because vile naletanga message, is this you? Then you say, no, it's not me, or yes, it's me. And she said, no, it's not me. She quickly went to change her password. And then she gave me the password immediately before her calls dropped. So when I accessed her email, nikapata mtu anatry kuingia, inasema OTP sijui has been sent. Sijui someone nini. It's showing me this person has looked at the location. And in those few minutes, I kid you not, between 7:34 and 7:41, this person had managed to access her WhatsApp and all her contact list, changed the email and phone number that is linked to her WhatsApp, had messaged everyone asking for money.
Oh my goodness.
Pretending to be her. Was even making calls and telling people, tuma kwa hii number.
What?
And the message seemed so convincing, like, hi, niko hapa, please sign urgent nitumie 5K, 10K. So that person this week amekula poa, juu watu walimtumia maganji. So Shanice, please tell us, what does data protection mean, and how did you fall into this world of data protection?
That is such an interesting story.
Yeah.
But wait, pause. Apo, unaona sasa That is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because if you said alitumiwa hadi OTP, so that means alikuwa meka two-factor authentication.
So to be honest, let's just have that whole conversation.
Hey.
Hata two-factor ni nini? Inaanzia wapi? OTP ni nini? Hizo vitu zote ni nini na zinasaidia aje? So the matter has not been, it was yesterday she was at the DCI, they were following up with the issue. But she's still locked out of her WhatsApp.
Right.
And some of the things they told her was, you shouldn't have changed your password because this other person can already see on the other end. You could, and I mean, like, what? But when immediately you get the notification that your account has been accessed, the first thing you think about to do is change your password. So what is it? Data protection ni nini? Tuanzie tu hapo kwanza.
Data protection is essentially making sure that you as a person and all of the information about you, you have some control over it. How it's collected, how it's used, how it's stored. And essentially, yote iko anchored under kwa constitution yetu. Kuna article 31 yenye inasema you have a right to privacy. So how do you actualize this right to privacy? Especially squeezy, since we live online, we do everything online.
Yeah.
So it's basically just vile migrate from your physical state to
the online
space. You have migrated with your data. And that is your digital footprint, your phone number, your name, whatever websites you access, where you're clicking. Those things. That is all data about you. And if someone has all these different data sets, they can map out your whole life, essentially. So how do you ensure that you're protected? You have rights with regards to how your information is used, collected, stored, and essentially you own your data protection.
Okay.
But it's like a double-edged sword, because at the end of the day, think about even the platforms that you use to access social media and actually be online. Izo pia ni biashara, right?
Yes.
And they're looking to make profits.
Yes.
So it also comes in hand with assisting businesses to still realize their goals as a business, but in a way that ensures their customers' data is protected and secured. So that is data protection in a nutshell and what I do.
I love your definition. I love the way you've put it. It's actually essentially like a transference of who you are onto, and we never think about it like that. I think we just think it's a small extension that we don't really need to think about that much. Oh my goodness. So how did you stumble up? Is it data or data? How did you stumble upon data protection? Did you always know you wanted to be a lawyer? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So yes, I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer. Growing up I'm a Maasai, so coming from a Maasai community, especially for women and girls, it's very easy for you to get forgotten and lost in the noise. So growing up, I'm lucky I came from a family that values education. And from a young age, I had strong opinions. So I could easily voice them home, you say.
Were you allowed the space like to be that way?
Yes. My mom is she's very open. She's very open-minded. So we would have very many difficult conversations even as a child. Because again, growing up in a community where you're told, hey, you're not supposed to be that loud. You need to, don't go to those areas.
Women don't.
Ufai hata mkichinja mbuzi, sijui uko chini, wasichana wafai kuwa. And I'm like, kwani, what is the big deal, you know? And luckily, we would have those conversations in the comfort of our home. But every time I would raise such questions or comments out there, I would always get, huyu akona kierere, huyu anaongea sana. It's not your place to say such things. So I kind of had that drive of, no, it can't be like this, And of course, studying and learning, and I watched a lot of movies, and they lied to me that law is this prestigious career. It's not a lie. So I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but then when I got into this space, finding something that works for me, and then looking at how women and girls were treated back at home, and then now with the whole digital, sisi ni wale tuli grow up tukifanya ICDL, computer ime come up, then sasa there was this whole aspect of, if you're not online, you're kind of not, recognized, essentially.
You don't exist.
Yeah. Na sasa kama kuna hawa kwa ground, hata physically, kwa records, they don't exist as a community. What about when we're migrating to the digital space? So it was just like a passion for me to make sure that girls and women know that there is a place for you in this online digital space. It's not a big monster that we don't understand. We can work through it, there are very many opportunities for you as women. So it kind of stemmed from that. And I just found my niche and I went with it.
Your answers are so profound. Like, I don't know why I keep expecting something. So, but when I listen, I'm like, oh, wow, that's so beautiful, actually.
Thank you.
So that's really, really nice. Okay, so now you're in this law space. You're doing this. Tell us what your day-to-day activities look like.
That's actually interesting, because when I first started out in data protection, it was with an outfit that did essentially protecting data at a global scale across different sectors. So that was very different, because you get different clients who have different needs in different sectors. So it's a new thing that we are all trying to understand and apply in our day-to-day as businesses and people.
Yeah.
So having to know how the sector works, what their needs are vis-a-vis what the laws on data protection are, that was a whole other animal. You do audits, you prescribe, you tell them what to do. This is what the act says. This is what you're doing. This is where you need to fix.
And you're also learning in real time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was very challenging and I loved it. But since I have moved now to the private sector, which is another animal, because initially I was telling them, you need to do this. Sasa mimi ndio niko hapo kwa kuzifanya. So you audit yourself internally as, of course, you're part of the organization now, and you see these are the gaps that I need to fill, all these moving parts, all these other departments that have to comply, making it make sense for the board and management on why you're telling me that I need to do a whole assessment before I roll out my product. So by the way, they look at you like, you don't want us to succeed, by the way. Utaki biashara isonge.
Yeah. But it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to navigate and balance that, but it comes with a lot of communication, helping people understand the why first, making it relatable to them. And I find that really helps in the day-to-day, of course, and making sure that everything is moving smoothly.
Okay. So what kind of clients usually approach you, and when they do, what do they want from you? Like if someone is coming to you, Shanice, what are some of the questions that you see coming up about, before we get into just some issues around data protection on a day-to-day basis? So what are some of the things you're dealing with on a casual day?
So let's even talk about kwanza sahi tuko kwa era ya startups. And startups, of course, trying to save on money. Kila mtu anakimbilia AI tools haraka.
Yes.
So the first question is usually, ninataka kutumia AI na sitaki kufainiwa. Sort that one out for me.
Okay.
So you start from the point of even explaining kwanza how this AI tool is essentially a problem under the law. Not a problem, but something that you have to navigate. Unatumia data gani ya watu, because there are two categories of data. There's the general ones, kina number, email address, your name. And then there's the really sensitive one, your biometrics, your health information, your fingerprints. Because those things, if you use them, si eti utaenda uchukue uso ingine replace.
Yes.
Phone number unaweza replace.
Yes.
Jina unaweza change. Hectically though. But hizi zingine ni essential to you as a person.
Yes.
So
this could actually change your whole life if someone else gets access to this information.
Right?
Yes.
So now navigating that whole, because Sai essentially, if anything has, if your organization or your job or whatever you're interacting has anything to do with this sensitive personal data, as we call it, there are other now added obligations to it.
Yes, you have to be extra careful.
And you have to be able to show how careful you are. Si eti kusema, we have encryptions, we are storing them safely, musijali. Si mimi nakushow. You have to actually show the regulator, even hapa ndio data inastoiwa, even ndio ninaitumia. These are the people who have access to it. This is how it's being secured. And if someone, a hacker comes, haezi ku access because of ABCD. Right.
When you're speaking, I'm just thinking about how in the movies, the information most of us have about hacking stuff, and there's someone sat on a computer and they're like, I'm accessing the data mainframe, password, and I'm in it. So is it that easy to access someone's information? Because now coming back to my mother's story, I am shocked. It has been 2 days, but I am shocked. I do not understand how quickly, in minutes, someone can access and exploit and take everything, like essentially your being, your personality, who you are, and pretend to be you. So is it that easy to access someone's information and what is it as the common people we're not looking at? Because Mimi, I think when you have let me say when you've been on the internet a bit longer or maybe you have a larger following, these are steps that maybe you tend to be a bit more intentional with, because you don't want your big YouTube account to be hacked.
Right.
You don't want your Instagram with 3 million followers to be hacked.
Disappear.
But sasa sisi watu kawaida wenye tuko too normal, we're just online to maybe consume, we're not maybe influencers or whatever, maybe we're not thinking on a daily basis how easy it is for someone to access our information online. And maybe we're not even thinking about the extra securities that we need to put in place so that we protect ourselves, because you're thinking it's just a TikTok account, it has 10 followers. Yeah, and I'm not even using it like that. So what mind frame do you think we should be having as common people who are just on the internet, using the internet on a normal day? Do you think these are things we should be thinking about?
Oh, for sure. I mean, si hata kwako kwa nyumba uko na gate,
Padlock.
lock kwa gate, lock kwa mlango, uko na wochi kaa watatu.
Yes.
So when we talk about how easy it is to get people's data, think about it in two ways, right? There is the mwizi anaweza kuja ukweli na pita na yo gate yako na pita na mlango, and there's nothing you could have done. Essentially, you did your best. But there's also that element of haukufunga yo kifuli.
Safety starts with me.
Exactly. And that's what people usually overlook. Kama unafikiria, si big deal. Kwanza two-factor authentication inasumbua. Password si nimetumia moja all through my accounts and logins. Kwani nani atajua? What is it that you're putting out there that can inform me as a hacker, I'm not a hacker, on how I can actually get to you?
Yes.
Think about it logically. Mtu ako na watoto. Uwe mse, password yake more often than not inaweza kuwa ni birthday za watoto ama jina.
Yes.
Hata wewe.
So this is the normal mafikra ya mtu mwenye ako na mtu mwenye ni hacker.
Hata anza mbali. Ataanza
Okay.
tu na ile information unapeana.
Okay.
I remember when we were opening Gmail, hata si Gmail, zilikuwanga Yahoo accounts kitambo, si ndio? Mtu alikuwa
Zile siku za Facebook za
unaweka sijui password mpaka umeweka town yenye ulizaliwa, sijui nini. Unafikiria mtu ataenda mbali? And in this age of oversharing, I always like telling people, if I'm a hacker, I'll just look at what you post on your socials. That would be my first signal. Because you wake up, umeambia watu kule umeenda gym, umeambia watu kule unafanya kazi, umeambia watu kule unaendanga your favorite spots, my hidden gems, my safe spaces. If I want to hack you kwanza and you're in your safe space, umefika hapo kwanza umeitisha password ya Wi-Fi. I talk about this in one of my episodes, how easy it is for someone to get your passwords or your security codes when you're on a public Wi-Fi. Because if you're on the same Wi-Fi, it's like we're in the same room. I can see what you're doing.
Okay.
I can see where you click. I can see what you input.
This is now on the back end.
Right.
Okay.
So all I have to do is wait for you to just put that password, hijack that session with the cookies, and then I reproduce it somewhere else. Na hivyo ndo nimekulog out na nimechukua.
Shanice unani stress.
Wacha niku-stress.
Unani stress.
So yeah, essentially it starts with you.
Yes.
What information are you putting out there? Have you protected yourself safely? I always prescribe for when you have one account, one email address or one account for your serious stuff, and then have another one for your more risque activities, if I may put it that way. When you're doing banking or when you're doing your serious things, use one. And then when you're using like bookings, opening social media, let that be tied to another.
No one has ever told us that. No one ever, even in ICDL, I don't remember someone telling me it would be really, really nice if you had an email. Sisi email zetu tu ndo ziko na kila kitu, bank, vitu za kazi.
So hapo, amepata kila
kitu.
But you have to think about it in a risk-based way. Okay. How do you diversify your risk? When I spread out, you put all your eggs in one basket. I remember there was this conversation. Nakumbuka time watu wakitengeneza ma caricatures on AI.
Yes.
And of course, there was an element of some harvesting that might have been happening there. But let's be honest, tunajianikanga wenyewe, sisi wenyewe. And what you put out is free game. Wezi sema si kwani nataka uitumie hivyo, si mimi nilikuwa tuna post juu najibamba.
There's no laws to protect you in that situation.
Essentially, when you put your information out there yourself,
you're saying this is for anybody's taking.
Have you seen that? There's this video that was trending of parents who are at an airport with their child, and then all of a sudden strangers start telling them, oh, your child had a good game on Friday. I love that you're back to sports. Love that you're feeling better. And then you're like, how do you even know this information about me? But when it's free game. You can't now start saying you cry wolf na wewe ndio ulijianika.
Umepita na wengi. I don't think, guy, the things you're saying are very basic, but they're things that none of us actually think about when we're online. We're just thinking, I want to put my stuff out. Sometimes you're not even... Sijui niite ignorance ama sijui ni nini kwa sababu sometimes you're not even thinking about the consequences that could come from that. I mean, I'm just going to the office and then I'll just post, today I was with Shanice, we were somewhere recording. But you never actually think about it. So what would you advise to people who maybe love to post stuff online? They're not really thinking, but sometimes they are told in the comments. Sometimes they are told, like, stop posting your child, stop posting in real time, stop posting in nini. Yeah. But what would you tell someone who, let's talk to someone who doesn't know. Let's just talk to someone who doesn't know anything about data protection. They don't understand. They don't have the awareness that they have to be protecting themselves. So tell this person what they should do when they're opening a social media account and how it would be safer to conduct themselves online. Yeah. Always
think safety first. Always think from a point of kukadoka sai. Am I doing too much? Am I doing the most? There's something that you've mentioned that I really like, not posting in real time. That is a key element in a lot of things, by the way, because you never know who's watching, you never know who's following. So posting in real time, I like the way people start doing recaps nowadays. That's really nice. It's better for you to do a recap. It even gives you time to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
So essentially, when you're starting your journey online, one of the tips I think I just dropped is do you have different email accounts for your socials?
Yes.
Set up a new Gmail. Make sure that is the only one that deals with your socials, nothing bank or health related. You're equal to your social media. And then second, when you're dealing with socials, what is your risk appetite? I think let me ask you that.
What is the risk appetite?
Risk appetite is what...
how far am I willing to go?
How far are you willing to go, essentially? Ni kama kuna watu wengine wangefanya hiyo trick ya caricature if they were not on social media, then essentially now their data would be out there. Kuna watu wengine already you're on the socials, you're influencing, so people already know a lot about you. So Apple, it's not much of a risk because there's nothing new you're sharing, essentially. So ujiwe, and then you see this is as far as I'm willing to go. If your family also consult, let's give people the option to choose. Do you want to be on my socials, even if you're my significant other, even if you're my child? Let's empower people to be able to decide for themselves the extent to which they're on your socials. Ata watoto squeezy by then very vocal. They're like me, I don't want to appear. So let's give people that choice. So do a self-audit. Ni risk gani niko willing to take? Maisha yangu ninataka ikae aje online? To what extent? And then, of course, share responsibly. Then there's the aspect of passwords. There's this website I like using to try and see. It shows you how fast your password can be hacked. It's called passwordmonster.com.
Okay.
So you go type that password there that you're using. Yo yenye umetumia kwa kila account, kila mali A to Z. Yeah?
From the bank to Facebook to TikTok.
Yeah, and then see how fast it can take for you to be hacked.
So it checks. Is it checking against other passwords or like against your email?
Just the thing that you've put in. It's like a landing site. Kinyo umetype hapo ndo itakuandikia hapo chini. It'll take this long for you to be hacked.
Okay.
And the safest password is usually a passphrase. It's like a sentence. So my sister is 20 years old today. Full stop.
There's an option to do that? I thought passwords are just supposed to be like 7 letters. Ikienda sana 14. Si wanasemanga 7 to 14 characters.
Type uone.
So itakubali.
It'll work. Wamekuambia that's the prescribed format because they don't want you to go below that. It'll be too easy to crack. And cycle tumefika technology-wise, we are dealing with a quantum computer that has trouble reading spaces. So that's why having a sentence is easier.
Okay.
And safer.
Okay.
So now that you've already diversified your accounts, you use one for this one for this one, and then you can switch them up like every month. That way, you're sure that you're safe. Na tuache kulenga two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is whereby you set up even on your socials, like on Instagram. Ukijaribu kulog in, it asks you to authenticate. But now there's a problem. Nowadays, hackers have found a way to bypass the OTP. Ile inatumanga code to your text, they can hijack that.
That is exactly what happened. The WhatsApp, when you try to access WhatsApp on my mom's phone, it's showing the email is someone else, the phone number. How do they do that?
How hata mimi ninashangaa juu ninangangana kutake cyber security classes nijue. But there is another way. We have authenticator apps.
Yes.
Like the one, Microsoft, I think that's the common one that people know. But there are others that you can use for all your socials. So if the app is installed on your phone, it sends the code there instead of a text because that is easily hijacked. So it sends the code to the authenticator app and you can access it there. That's the safest one so far.
I like that, actually. I like that. Unajua hii technology tulianza venye 10 years ago hatukuwa na hizo mashida zote. Something I'm getting from you that keeps coming out over and over is the intentionality that is needed with dealing with the online space. This is something that I never think about. I never think about how intentional I need to be. It's just set up my accounts, put my passwords. And now you're saying someone can go on my Facebook and see my location, the year of birth, my email, my nini. Na hizi vitu tu 4 zitampea everything else they need to access my whole life.
Because now I will use that information kwa sababu si hapo tu umeweka.
Yes.
Umeweka places zingine.
Yes.
Na tusisahau kuna watu wanaitwa data brokers. Data brokers ni watu wanaendanga unaona hizi ma black book zenye zinakuwa kwa hizi ma buildings lazima unaingia ukiwa umeweka vitu.
Yes.
M-Pesa transaction books zenye unaendanga ukiandika details zako hapo. Some data brokers get access to this data and they sell them. So now you're not even sure. Ni kama saa zile umefungua account na a shipping company or something and then you start receiving text from another shipping company.
Yes, how do they get my number? Or even at the supermarket, like free samples, thank you for shopping with CG, what?
Yeah.
Is that legal? Is it, like, are these people supposed to have to be able? Legal. So there's no laws like saying they can't do that.
Okay, it's not that they can't do that.
Yes.
They have to, again, achieve some parameters to be able to do that. Because under the Data Protection Act, it says if you're using personal data at scale, then you need to be registered as a data handler. So it's not that you can't, you can. But again, tukumbuke ni Kenya. Unataka kuniambia dem ako hapo, akienda ambiwe tu shika hii 1000. Angalia hivi, nipige kitabu. Na ni left hata si baby kitabu yako ninapiga tu picha na niende.
Yes.
Again, so that is one of the funny things we are seeing nowadays in this age of tech, balancing a business functions with actually safeguarding your data. So always jua kule melik, and then I have sophisticated AI tools that will allow me to map all of these data sets and get a picture of you, Roberta, and what your life looks like.
So in Mboka, side hustle, like there's people actually, this is their hustle. They sit down and they have the time to go through your information and get what they want. So what are some of the biggest risks that you have seen in real time coming up? Or some of the worst cases? Shock us so that we know this is some serious stuff. Yes.
Did you see that story about that girl who woke up one day to 1,000,005 notifications on her phone?
I haven't seen that.
Because
tell me about
someone used AI, Grok, one of those tools, to make pornographic images of her from images on her socials. It's not that she had even sent anyone anything.
This is something that can be done.
Yes.
Like your naked body reimagined and looking real.
I can take a picture of how you're dressed today in this lovely 2-piece and use an AI tool to do whatever I want with that image. I can make it come alive, say what I want, mimic your voice. It's a crazy world.
Pretend to be me even while speaking to people on the phone.
Yes. Wewe tumeka hapa na wewe naona ukiniambia ati forex trade.
Cheki, kwani tumefika wapi huku?
That is the thing, because people are behaving as if tuko 2015. Na tech iko like
but they all of us are stuck huko. Yeah.
What people are doing with tech nowadays.
Yeah.
Let's even talk about a simple thing kama game ya Roblox. Roblox has essentially given children the platform to do things on a global scale, play games, but there's the chat rooms, and you never know who is in these chat rooms. And if they already have these the AI capabilities, again, people do crazy things out here with resources. So uko unajua mtoto wako anacheza Roblox, ako very busy akiongea na mtu ako sijui country gani hiyo, anamwambia, oh, my mom is an evil person, I don't like her, send me your picture, we can be friends.
Unakumbuka to go? Ulikuwa zile siku za to go?
Yeah.
The things we've been doing online since we were 12 years old.
Yeah.
So now I can imagine the risks that exist now with AI.
Imagine. And let's not even go too far. Juicy, we were hearing about people in clubs who are being photographed, and then the club is using your photo. Wewe stand up man wa kanisa. Uko una advertise for club XYZ. Unbeknownst to you, yeah. Kutumia text, hey bro, kumbe unapiganga sherehe.
Kumbe wewe ni mtu wa sherehe.
Imagine. Those are some risks that we see here hata ni on a small scale. We haven't even considered things on a national scale. Like, have you ever thought about how they migrated us from NHIF to Shifsha or whatever it's called nowadays?
No. Do
you know that actually people are in court to try and, I don't know, stop or change something to do with that? Because this is all of our personal data.
Yes,
data
including biometrics.
Imagine.
Yes.
And then they were just shifted from one system to another, no notice,
Nobody
no
asked
assessment
us
of how it's going to affect us. How are you going to safeguard our data?
Yeah.
Itakuwa access na kina nani. Ndo hawa America wameanza kukuja wana sign health deals left, right, and center to get access to our health data. We already have seen the propaganda with regards to how people, especially Africans, are being targeted when it comes to the health sector. So,
you know, I said shock, but like I didn't want you to kill me and finish me. I didn't. So now I'm getting so paranoid because who knows what about me? Even on a normal day, you'll be walking along kwa barabara and someone will say, "Hi, Shanice, unashanga." Huyu ananijuaje na ni nini anajua?
Mpaka unasikia kumuuliza, unanijulia wapi?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is actually very shocking. Okay, other than now these risks that we're seeing, what should we know now about like compliance with the law? How should I conduct myself to know that because when we think about data protection, I think we think about mostly like large companies harvesting and using our information to do whatever they want. But now on a very small scale, Mimi, as somebody who's conducting my own business and what should I know about legal stuff and about how to comply? What are some of the laws that maybe protect me or don't protect me? Like now umeniambia, naweza jipata kwa page ya Ibiza nikirombosa na mimi hata siendangi out.
Imagine.
Mimi mtu wa church.
Unataka kuniambia vile uendangi mahali.
I tried to wink but I don't know if it worked. That is really, really shocking.
Hey.
I never think about, okay, mimi ni nini nafaa kufanya mimi mwenyewe, even as I'm conducting my own businesses online or when I'm posting my own stuff. What are some of the things I need to know that I should comply with the law to make sure that I'm safe?
First of all, let's start on, kuna two facets to this when it comes to compliance. There's in the business aspect. Of course, if you're running a business on social media and you handle, of course, ati utasema, oh, me, it's not that big, or I'm not, that sifanyi at that big a scale. But there are still some things you can do to make sure that essentially your customers trust you, because that is what every business is looking for.
Yes.
So under the Act, there's first of all registering with the ODPC. You can easily just go to their website.
What is ODPC?
Oh, my bad. That is the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner.
Okay.
So when the Act came up, the Data Protection Act came about, it mandated for creation of an office that would essentially handle everything data protection related.
Oh, because I kukwa before.
It was there. It was actually there, but in different spaces. Unajua kama ya watoto ilikuwa under the Children's Act. For banks, financial institutions ilikuwa regulated na CBK, and there was that aspect of confidentiality, but it was growing too big to be stomached by all of these other things. It needed to be a thing of itself.
Okay.
So now the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner does that. They ensure that people who use personal data at large scale, ya wa Kenya, wana abide by our laws. Now inasaidia kutu protect essentially. Na ukumbuke pia siku hizi internet imefanya kila mahali, the world is a small town.
Yes.
So information crosses borders at a high rate. So what does that look like also for Kenyans? Information yetu isikwe tu huko nje ni kama hatuna mtu anatu protect. So that is what the ODPC does. And for businesses conducting themselves online, there's that option of registering, and it's very affordable, by the way. They usually look at the number of employees that you have, because kwa hii sector, risk iko related to people. Because una imagine kama wewe umeambia wase lazima tukue conscious nini, and then employees wako hata files za customers zinaachwa tu hapo juu ya meza. Anyone can come and access. So those are the things you need to think about. Even aside from registration, there are things we call privacy notices. Which
What's
is
that?
a notice to your customers or whoever's data you use on how you're keeping it safe. You know, you just tell them we are a privacy conscious company. We use this and this information of yours for this and this purpose. Kwa sababu pia si eti utachukua information yangu alafu endo niweke kwa WhatsApp group ya sijui chama ya kutolea nani pesa ama unauza mtumba sasa niko huko tu nashanga mbona niko bombarded na utensils zimenjaza kwa gallery.
Yes.
Things like that. So that is a privacy notice that just lets your customers know, by the way, I'm a conscious person and I'm thinking about you, and this is how I'm safeguarding your information. Even when you're sharing like reviews, sazile umeuza vitu uko hapo unataka kuonyesha potential customers vile watu wanapenda product yako, utaweka hapo tuna profile picture ya msee na namba, si unazificha.
Yes.
So that is something we call data minimization. It's the small things like that, like the new move that M-Pesa is making to blur out transaction, your phone number in transactions. So mimi nikikutumia pesa utaona my full phone number and vice versa.
Tell us how that helps or how that affects.
It helps very much, because if you can imagine, we were talking about data brokers. Or even saa zingine una deal na mtu unaujui ana moonlight kaa nani. Yeye ako hapo tu amesema hizi transactions za leo za siku ndio mboka ya siku inaanzia hapa. Chukua hizo majina na manamba, because essentially if you're verifying a payment, all you need is a code, right?
Yes.
And my name.
Yes.
And the time of the transaction and the amount.
Yes.
What do you need my full phone number for?
You don't
That's a bit
need
too
it.
much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are putting these things into practice pole pole to actually show you that si lazima ukue na information yote to verify what you need to. In a business perspective, also keep me safe.
Yes.
Kwa sababu wewe simu yako kama vile mama yako alihakiwa, mtu akikuja apate transactions zako zote za M-Pesa, what will they do with all of those people who you've transacted with?
Yeah, even just on my phone, it doesn't even need to be in a book somewhere.
Exactly. So that is thinking about it from a business perspective.
Yes.
But as an individual, when you want to protect yourself, kama sasa sahi umeanikwa uko mahali, the first thing you need to know is you have rights. You're not powerless.
What are my rights?
Your rights under the Data Protection Act is, first of all, you have the right to access whatever personal data an organization has of yours. So ukiona Ibiza wamekupiga picha, uko na right ya kwenda kuambia, by the way, nataka kujua apart from this other picture, what else do you have about me? And it is legal under the act. And if they fail to comply, unawapeleka UDPC.
Okay.
You also have the right to deletion or correction of your personal data. Kama kuna mahali wako na details zako lakini wameandika vibaya, namba yako imeandikwa vibaya, you have the right to approach them and tell them, oh yeah, correct hapa na hapa na hapa, or even just delete all of my data. I don't want to transact with you guys anymore. But now hiyo iko na different levels, kwa sababu kuna zile kama banks, they have a right under the law to keep that information for like 7 years for audit purposes. So hiyo iko na exceptions zake.
Okay.
But kuna zingine, they don't have a right to hold
Kama
your-
club.
Exactly.
Wanaweka vitu zangu ya nini?
Delete your kitu.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you have the right to go and tell them, okay, now I have seen you have all of this information. Niwekea kwa PDF unitumie. Nataka maybe kupeleka to another organization, maybe if you want to shift banks and you want your statements.
Yes.
Unawaambia niwekeni kwa PDF munitumie. You have that right.
Yeah.
And you obviously have the right to complain when your right to privacy has been infringed. Kama sasa your example ya club.
Yes.
But this is what I like to tell people. Usiende tu kupiga kelele, oh, my rights have been infringed. You have to do it smart. Okay?
Tell us, Madam Wakili, how to be smart when we're having this. Because I think in those moments, a lot of times maybe we're very anxious, we're very afraid. Like yesterday, when I was on the phone with my mom when she was at the DC, she was very distraught because first your thinking is they're gonna access they're gonna take loans from things like maybe Safaricom, Fuliza, M-Shwari, kuna banks zingine hazina security poa hivyo. So akiweza na kitu mse alifanya, kuna kitu inaitwa sijui ni Samsung switch ama switch something, I can't remember what it's called. So what this thing does is that it mirrors. So it's not ati mse ali access tu akaingia Gmail. Kila kitu yenye ilikuwa kwa simu ya mamangu transfer kwa simu yake. So anaona in real time, anaona ukifanya ni kama ile kitu ya computer, sijui inaitwangaje. Anaona in real time ukiingia kwa app, ukiweka password, ukifanya nini. And that was so seamless. It did not send her a message that she was logged on in this switching app thing. It did not show anything. The only way I was able to know was that Google ilikuwa isha backup iyo scan photos. So when I accessed her Gmail, I saw this is what this person is doing, and that's how I was able to provide more information on what is happening. Because when you're being hacked, I think what you think about is this person has got my passwords or whatever and has ingia. Mi hata ya kuswitch vitu na kumira vitu mi niliona jana. Na hiyo kitu ilini shock because how are people this smart?
Technology, man. And this information is readily available. Kuna muindi Patel hapo hivyo YouTube anafunza watu hizi vitu.
Yeah.
And it's easily accessible. So you can't really predict. No maana nasemanga nye kitu ya kuhakiwa. Usiseme uwezi. Siku yako ikifika.
Can never be me.
Oh, it will be you so bad.
Where?
But now in the event something like that happens, you need to, again, it was very diligent, you vile mlienda DCI and everything, at least you have it on record, and there's evidence of the hacking. So getting, because when you even approach these accounts, kama bank yako uambie, hey, I was hacked, I need to change internally V2 ABCD, that is, having a record is very helpful. But sijui kama I need to ask my hacker friends, because you usually say ukihakiwa maybe laptop yako, and you're losing control of your machine, the easiest way is to shut it off.
Yes.
Because if they lose the signal, they can't do anything with it, essentially.
Ebu, let's go back there. Tusonge nyuma kidogo. What are some of the things you're supposed to do immediately you figure out you're being hacked? Like if you maybe get the message your account has been accessed from a device that you do not recognize, or whatever happens, whatever notification you get, what is the first action that you think, or subsequent actions that you think someone should take when they realize that, oh my goodness, my data is being shared, or wamenipata, wameninasa?
So now I think it depends with the level of hacking that has happened. Kwa sababu kama hiyo walimwendea full throttle.
Imagine I texted these guys and I told them, we have your location, we have your phone number, we have your name, we have your name. Akaniambia, nikamwambia, na DCI are on their way. Akaniambia, tell them to come, I'm waiting. Akujali, alisema, do your worst.
Uyo ni pro.
I'm waiting.
Uyo ni pro. What? Because ideally, when you get those notifications, see, sasa hapa ndio authentication inaingililia. Kwa sababu unaweza sema, no, it was not me, and then Google, their defenses kick in and they safeguard and you switch your password and whatever. And the second thing is you have to notify guys that you were hacked.
How though?
Socials.
But these guys, unoma wameanza, they reset the phones. So your phones go offline ata.
Yo, zima simu. Zima tu simu.
Na uiache tu hivyo.
Hapo wamekuweza 10-0.
Yes.
But I'll need to check in with my hacker friends wanipatie hizo.
Please do, because now you have to come back and we do a whole episode of like, because kuna hizi basics zenye tunajua, and I like that you said, we're still learning. Even you professionals, the information is coming out, technology is changing as we're evolving. So of course kuna levels zingine zenye hata maybe you lawmakers and law implementers, you guys are still not aware of maybe the tech that is coming up. So you're just learning as we go. So now, please, I interrupted you, sorry, but just keep telling us about what measures we should take when we realize that someone has ameingia kwa accounts zetu.
Ideally, First of all, si unakuanga na numbers, especially banking, make sure you have a number ya contact person kwa bank yako.
Yes.
Because I think that is the safest, you safeguard your money
that's
first.
better, yes.
Yes, you'd rather have a contact, simkona relationship managers.
Yes.
Immediately something happens, give them a call. My accounts have been hacked. So any other transactions from here now, do not approve them. Make sure it's on record at least.
Okay.
And then now I was getting into the point of how do you report to ODPC essentially when you're, because you never know what information they have, how they're going to use it essentially. But now in a hacker situation is different than when your rights have been infringed. Hacker situation, yo jaribu tu kama utaweza kuchange password, zima simu, pigia bank yako ambao umehakiwa, ambia mabeste zako wa post online that mtu akireceive call from flani usishike, amehakiwa, devices zake, something has happened. Try and get the information out there. But now when you look at it as a point from the other side where your rights have been infringed and you want to recover something, unajua uwezi peleka mtu kotini kama ajui makosa amekufanyia. Let's start there. So essentially like that example you were talking about ya Ibiza, ni uende uwashow, naona mmetumia picha yangu, I want to exercise my rights under the Data Protection Act and I want you to take it down. I did not consent to you guys having it there.
Or you have to just be nice first.
Yeah. I mean,
and talk to them. But then they didn't consult you when they were doing this nonsense.
Of course, they would not. Their business. They have to further their business agendas.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job. And that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my book, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So, what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke. And now, back to programming.
But now, wakiona mse ako rada, they have two ways of responding. Either they can say, okay, yeah, we apologize, we have taken down the post, we have deleted, and they give you evidence of deletion somehow. And then now, assuming that they don't, which most don't, wanakulenga sasa sasa uko na rights ya kwenda sasa kwa DPC na kusema and have records, by the way, take screenshots even before, just make sure you have your records, screenshots of whatever they posted, screenshots of your communications to them and their lack thereof of a response. Because when you go to the ODPC, it's very easy, by the way, you just go to their website, file a complaint, they'll ask you a few details and then they'll email you back asking for further information. Now uzuri ni tuko na precedence ya my payments zimepeanwa. Kama juzi there was an event where walikuwa meka hii blanket notice ati ukiingia hapa you consent to being recorded, and then they
lakini siyo ni notice, si nimewashow
hiyo si consent. Notice na consent ni two very different things. Umenipatia notice una record, cool. Umenipatia wapi option ya kukwambia sitaki kurekodiwa?
Okay, venye na understand nikawa nasema sisi kwa hii space yetu nikawa ukiingia hapa ulijua kuna cameras zina roll, so uingie kwa hii room ukijua cameras na mic ziko on. Kama utaki kurecord toka.
Hiyo haina shida, imagine. Lakini it doesn't mean that just because you've given the notice that you're recording, you get to use my image and likeness on your advertisements, promoting your shows, telling people the way they need to come to the next one.
Because Shanice
you're
was
making
here.
money. You're making money off of my image and my likeness, and I did not agree to that. So that monetary element to it brings another, because essentially you're making money off of people's likeness. Na hawajakubali. So that aspect also, when you're complaining on search, lazima uonyeshe walitumia kwa advertisements. Again, get your evidence, get your screenshots. And then sasa hiyo event walitumia hizo mapicha za wase for advertisements and they were fined. Ilikuwa 1.5M, kila mtu alipata 500k.
Ebu mtumie image zangu so I can come for you, please.
So we already see in practice the ODPC is doing a good job. But they wanna try.
Yes.
Ni ile tu sasa pia sisi tusilalie masikio. We have power in our hands.
It's because we don't know our rights and we don't have awareness alongside like how damaging it can be. Because I'm thinking even in the Sangine, it's not even that you don't even have a problem with it, but it could actually damage your reputation. So you deserve some sort of compensation.
Exactly. Just because you're on a digital space doesn't mean our right to privacy or our human dignity is gone.
Mbona watu wanakuanga na shida na consent na kuelewa consent? People have a problem in all forms, in relationships, in money.
I know, right?
That is so crazy. Nataka tuingie katika kiwango. Ni kiwango ama niseme aje? Nataka tuingie katika mambo ya relationship.
Oh God.
Na dating. Na freelance work. A month ago, I lost a friend of mine. He was murdered brutally.
Oh shit. Which
is actually really, really still very, very shocking. His name is Joe Miles. Miles was called, I don't know if you've seen this story online. Miles was called for a fake job in Naivasha. And he turned up and then he died.
Oh, the journalist.
Yes. So now his body was found. Nobody knows. His friends don't have much information about who he was going to meet, where he was going, when he went. So most of the information is coming out post-mortem. And a lot of us, we move through life. A lot of us are doing a lot of freelance work. Sometimes even consultations. You're meeting someone. Kuja at cafe. Kuja venye mimi nimekuita leo kuje kwa studio. What if haingekuwa mimi na nimekuambia
nimetumia location yangu anajua ni kule niko.
Yeah, so we have to place a lot of measures. But I want to talk about this now. Dating. Especially dating. And now that it's come up that men are also being killed, it's not just a woman thing. Anybody, if it happens really close to you, it brings a sense of reality that this is, if it can happen to a grown 6 foot tall man, what about me? What about me? I'm just a girl. So this means nobody's safe. Literally anyone can be a victim of crimes that are happening by use of the of social media. So while we're dating, And there's so many other stories, so many other cases of femicide, so many cases of homicide have come up. Even the bike guy who was sent to deliver an iPhone in sijui ilikuwa South C ama South B, and then he was murdered.
They ended up dead.
The lady, was it something Wahoo? I forget her name. Starlet Wahoo. Who she was meeting someone at an Airbnb or something, and then she was murdered. But these are normal things we do every day. Why? Because we've been growing up on social media. This is how we've formed most of our relationships. This is how we are keeping our families together. This is how, like I was reading the text my dad sent right before we started recording. He's aware of what is happening online, things that I haven't even seen. So even though global village, even though tuna have conversations with each other, even though tuna meet our lovers, even though tuna get jobs, sometimes even through LinkedIn, Indeed, these are spaces that are actually certified. And now we can say they're safe. I mean, it's Instagram. His pictures are there. We have mutual friends. I can see he's following people I'm following. I've seen her on TV. She's someone who I can say is credible. I know her. But now where does the safety start and stop? How do we conduct ourselves while dating online and while doing freelance work online? What are some of the extra steps that we should take? Because now, like, work is inevitable. Relationships, we are thinking kudinyana. We need it.
We have to. We are women. We are human.
So what do we do then? Because zile mavitu umeniambia leo zimenishock. Me, to be honest, nenda kumake sure nime OTP kila kitu nikitoka hapa. Maisi mara ya kwanza unaniambia hivi.
Imagine
the first time we met, you told me the same thing.
Na bado hujafanya.
So let's talk about the dating and freelance work.
So I think, just like you said, we grew up in the era of social media. So we saw the beauty first. And in all honesty, that was what was there first. Poking people on social media. It was just vibes.
Blind dates hata zilikuwa zina work.
Uko tu uko unakula vibes. Sasa wale wenye wana time ya vibes na mboka lazima ijipe. Na wako na internet, wameingia kwa chat. So now we are starting to see the underbelly of the digital space, essentially, and social media. So nowadays, it's sad, but in all honesty, we need to always assume, plan for the worst. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. So if you know, essentially, kwanza sana the freelance work. If you know you're going to meet a client, even though you've dealt with, wezi jua by the way mtu ana deal na nini hiyo time, right? Even if you've dealt with them prior before, let there always be someone who knows where you are, who you're meeting, has a record of something that is going about in your life. I think tena hii social media inafanya tusim ni kama tuko hapa sana, but in reality hatujuani hivyo.
Kwanza men are not even having conversations with, sorry to mention men, but like these guys are friends, but they don't know. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're dating. I don't know who you talked to. I don't know where you're going to do work.
It was so funny. I found out that guys sometimes don't even know each other's names. Wanaishana tu bro,
for 6 months.
Imagine. How do you live like that? Because Mimi, I have my cousin who find my iPhones. The location is always on.
Yes.
So I can always look at my phone and see, she's here. Ametoka hapa, ameenda hapa. Sometimes when she's out on a date, she tells me, nimetoka nimeenda mali flani. Just kaa tu rada.
Yes.
It's that simple. So nikiangalia nione, na ameka hapa 2 hours. Mama yako anauliza kama to boil ndengu. Uko fiti, okay, I'm okay.
Mko na di code word zenu.
Because you have to live like that nowadays. You never know where trouble is going to pop up. And especially if you're meeting people online. Let's just talk about kwanza easy dating apps for a second. Why am I on Tinder or Bumble and I've met someone and then in one day you want me to give you my number?
See, vibes zimeshika na tunataka kumove WhatsApp.
Hiyo app haina nini ya video na audio na texting. Hamuongei. Haitoshi hiyo. Bobbie hiyo haitoshi.
Lakini kusema ukweli Shanice. Sometimes conversation inashika, you want to feel like you're a bit closer, like we're...
Which is okay. Mpige na hiyo video call hapo kwa hiyo app. Musihame kwanza kwa WhatsApp. Because again, remember, tumesema namba yako ni your identity essentially. Unajua bebe kwanza siku hizi hata ukiangalia kuna njia ya kujua mtu anaishi wapi through KPLC kwa sababu ya ile namba anatumianga kulipa tokens, alafu hiyo token imerejistariwa wapi bro.
Hata YouTube ukiweka YouTube yako kwa TV ya msee akienda kwa ninizo magoogle whatever zinakwanga hapo anaweza ona location like where this YouTube was used.
Na sasa uko hapo tu umetuwekea hadi Strava kule unajogingi kila siku asubuhi. So you know the small thing like ati si tunahamia tu WhatsApp naweza block at any time. Ndio maana uko kwa hiyo app. Udeal naye kwa hiyo app mpaka ukue sure uni mtu legit na si madara. But they always prescribe usipeane namba yako less than 6 months chatting with someone on an app, on a dating app.
Somebody will hear 6 months and say that's
better safe
really
than better safe that.
What if I'm trying to get laid next week?
Okay, sasa hapo. Kwanza hizo hebu kwanza tuongelele hizo mapicha mnapenda kutuma.
Yes.
I always have one rule. I mean, we're sexy ass women, you know. Men that gym yo mwili.
We're horny. Yeah.
No face, no case.
Okay.
Usiweke uso yako hapo. Na kama uko na tattoos, try and
that's what I was going to ask
chapa
next.
Unajua tattoo yako chapa angle, weka mkono hivi, penduka.
Yes.
Usiweke vitu zinaweza kuku-identify. Na watu wa iPhone, please be wary about live photos. You take a live photo, but it moves. Unachukua picha unajua umejicrop out and then hapo kwa live uko nice.
Even post sending it moves like when
it does move.
Okay.
If I send it to you and I have an iPhone also, I long press and it moves. So in case there's any other activity that happened after you took the picture and you thought imeisha hivyo, it's captured in the live. So be wary of that. Be wary of mirrors, windows, reflective surfaces,
backgrounds through your mirror. Your window, sorry.
Anything can have a reflection and give a little bit more information than you intended to give. I remember this one time an ex saw me going somewhere on Valentine's and I had posted a picture of me. It wasn't even with whoever I was with. And they texted and said, reflection iko kwa earring. He zoomed in on my earring, girl. Moment of silence.
Okay. Skizeni. Hackers wako na time, resources. Na hata si hacker. Lakini mtu tuseme tu mtu anakutaka, mtu anataka kukupata. Ako na time, ako na resources, ako na effort. So vitu zenye unafikiria maybe ni ndogo ama ni ujinga. Yeye anaweza zoom hadi kwa sunglasses zako mpaka aone
uko wapi. Aone reflection ya sign.
There's this guy on TikTok who he does that. I'll send you his page. All he needs is a picture, whatever picture it is. Even right now I could just take a picture of you. He will find the studio. All he needs is just na si ati kuna special technology anatumia tu Google Maps, anaangalia vegetation iko around you, ina growingi wapi in the world, inafanyikaje, place huko, walls za wapi zinatengenezwa hivyo kwa hii country. Na anawapata.
Kuna pale ninaona kuna mlima fulani na a certain type of
way.
Exactly.
Okay, turudi kwa hizi measures.
Dating.
Shanice unasema tutume nudes lakini tukue careful.
Unajua hii maisha something maskila.
Tusijifanye we are not sending these nudes.
Brand new.
Okay.
Lakini tuifanye tu in a smart way, guys. Okay? So angalia surroundings zako, make sure hakuna kitu ina reflect uko wapi, or any other details. And then also by the way, when again dating, ukikutana na msee anakubamba, unajuaje kwanza kama hata huyo msee ni what he says he is or who he says he is. So tafuta social media. Again, kila mtu ako social media siku hizi. So ukitafuta mtu social media, a little bit of a little bit of a red flag. Uchukue nani hayuko hata LinkedIn. Okay, najua watu wengine hawako LinkedIn, but squeezy watu wengi wako
mahali. You should be somewhere.
Yeah. Hata kama ni Facebook. Yeah. Watu wako mahali. Kuna kitu inaitwa reverse image search. Do you know how to do a reverse image
on Google search? Where you search with the image. You put the image to tell you
and then it can. But then there are other AI tools. I have like 2 favorite ones nitakutumia. Zenye you can put someone's image and then it scours the internet and tells you where this image has been posted, if ever.
Okay.
Where has it appeared? Somewhere on the internet. So that is a way to also catch if someone is catfishing you. Because saa zingine watu wanaenda wanachukua picha za majamaa wako na do nini in some obscure country, hata ujui billionaires in Croatia. wagani amekuja ametumia picha yake Tinder akijiita James na hata si huyo. So a reverse image search can tell you, is this person who they say they are? Because even if you reverse search your image now, it shows you where all the places you've appeared.
Yes.
So it kind of gives credibility to whoever it is that you're talking to. Na watu tukutanange public places kwanza. Najua nyege is nyege.
Yeah.
Tujaribu tu at least mara ya kwanza.
Tujitahidi.
Na pia women, let us also be doing things in places where we are well versed with. Si eti mwanaume anakuita Airbnb iko mali huko Thika Road na sasa wewe ujui Thika Road na unaenda fanya mali wewe uko well versed with. Unajua hizi vitu siku hizi zimeanza kukuja at a higher cost. Siku hizi hata afadhali ujichukulie BNB basi wewe umuite akuje at your convenience.
Yes.
If now that is what you want, and stop inviting
if it will
people
save your
to
life.
Stop inviting people.
Let's talk about that. Some people don't think it's a big deal, but I have really serious reservations when it comes to even people coming to my home, which is kind of, now that I'm saying it out loud, it's kind of ironic, because if I can take care of my house like that, why am I not taking care of my social media?
Kila kitu, my friend Lola is very funny. She always says, simu yako iko na iPhone cover, AirPods zako ziko na cover.
Yes.
Lakini sasa wewe, your privacy is where you draw the line.
Yes.
Ndio maana mnadate.
Yes. It's true though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's stop thinking about it like we don't know everyone in these social streets. Let's think proactively and protectively. Assume tu worst case scenario ikihappen. Nani anajua niko wapi? Mimi najua niko wapi. Huyu ninajua ni nani niko na yeye. So, and I think the sharing your detail with someone or your location with someone you trust, even when you're going to a new job as a freelancer, helps a lot. At least ukwe tu na mtu anasaidia. You never know, because quick response can come at the right minute.
Yes. That helps a lot. That's actually, I don't know. You know, when I'm listening to you, I'm just thinking of how much as laymen we're really slacking on our own protection, because it's almost as if we're placing all the responsibility on the law and the policy makers and
like your Instagram and that site that you're on. Yeah,
because why would Instagram violate my my privacy? But these people are in business.
Yeah,
it doesn't, they just see you as numbers. They don't necessarily see you as something that they should really take care of. So if my privacy has been violated, what legal options do I have? You said, you've talked about quick response, you know, other than the things I should do within my end, kuzima simu, nini. So now, where do you come in? When do I call Shanice? Like, hey, Shanice, I need your help. What are my options legally? Do I just go to the police station and say, hey, they used my pictures? Do I even go to the police station? Like,
no offense, but
sema tu ukweli juu hapa unatuambia ukweli vile ina
happening.
happening.
Unaenda police station alafu nini wanaelewa. No offense. Actually, no offense. I am really no offense. But picha yako imetunua mali. Unajua vitu zingine hata unaendanga huko unasema mtu anakuangalia ni kama uko unserious, but wewe ni kitu serious kwako.
Yes.
Ndio maana tuko na ODPC.
Okay.
Let us actually exercise our rights. Wase tuache kulalia masikio. And when you get these determinations from the ODPC, you can easily take that judgment that the ODPC has given you and go with it to court and even seek more damages or more payments, kwa sababu these people have affected you emotionally, the mental anguish, you going to look for kina Shanice wakusaidie kufile hii complaint, utawalipa hiyo stress yote just because they did not seek your consent or use your data in a way that you would have preferred. So we do have avenues. The ODPC has tried to make it very friendly. Everyone can apply by themselves, but in case you don't or you find difficulty, there are many professionals out here who assist with these complaints. Kuna CC, there's a society called the Data Privacy and Governance Society of Kenya. It is filled with professionals who help people handle such complaints, because as we go about unafikiria you've seen everything, there's always something new under the sun. So usifeel ati uko ashamed, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have sent that picture. We are all humans.
Yes.
And we're all learning. So usifeel ati huna options, uko nazo mingi tena sana.
Okay, that's a bit reassuring because to be honest, venye tu umesema saa ingine utenda hapo Kayole police station wanakuangalia like sasa hiki kidem anaongea nini juu ya why did and there's also a lot of misogyny expressed in such situations. They'll ask you, what were you doing? Why were you naked? Where did you go? Why did you send? So they're not really gonna help you that much. They're going to blame you first for what you did or what you didn't do, which venye tu umesema double-edged sword. I think we should take care of ourselves first before we place all the responsibility of our personal safety on someone else, on external people.
So Shanice yuko mumtafte, but then there's also this other side of that is really demoralizing, if I may say. Like the other day, there was a lady who essentially had looked like she had been cyberbullied, right? The lady with the videos and the guy who was pushing up her dress. Did you see that one?
Yes.
Yeah. So our family somehow know each other back at home, and some relatives were quick to reach out and say, oh, she needs help. This didn't happen the way people say it did. And then upon further investigation, I already called people to help her. And then you later come and find out that it was self-orchestrated.
Yes.
So saa zingine inakuwa pia tricky kujua
kusaidia mtu.
Exactly.
Kwanza wewe kama lawyer, what position does that put you in now?
Bana.
Do you drop the case or what happens?
You do. Unatetea nani mtu?
Unatetea muongo. There's a show I was watching yesterday. I just feel it's called Love and Death. Have you watched it yet? It's
the
on
animation?
Netflix. No, not Love and Death and Robots. It's a please watch it today. I'll remind you when you leave here so that I think it's not what we're talking about, but it's just many cross mind venye tu saingine we're not careful or we're not thinking of the consequences after. We're just thinking of now. And in what cases does a lawyer decide I'm not doing this because you're a liar? Or because sasa hizo ni ethical issues tena.
So intention yako hata ilikuwa nini?
Yes.
Clout. So what is the point? Sasa kwa hiyo scenario, it's either you let it go or you hata wewe ukwe dragged in that, because honestly it is messy.
Yeah.
So saa zingine tu unainua mikono unasema, you know what, I was willing to help, but at this juncture my personal values and ethics do not align. I beg to sideline myself and go over here and leave you to your devices.
So talk to these girls who are doing this. Talk to these people online who are intentionally farming for clout, lying on people online. You know, we don't really think about the repercussions. We don't think, sometimes we think I'm a girl, I'm going to be believed if I lie he raped me, or I can say he did this against my own will. Until later now like that's the case, vitu zinaanza kutokea. So speak to that girl. What would you tell someone like that?
First of all, if you know you're chasing clout, just fanya peke yako basi. Fanya tu peke yako. Wacha kuinvolve watu wengine, unaharibia watu maisha, because do you think about umse sasa ameshakuwa labeled that they are allegedly a rapist,
whether they are acquitted or not.
Exactly. Na squeezy the court of public opinion ni kama ndio inabeba all the weight. Huyu mtu anaweza kosa kazi, familia yake inaweza sambaratika, like the repercussions to them are much more. So kama umeamua ni hivyo, you live by the sword, die by the sword, but by yourself. Stop dragging people into this. And I think people don't think about there are legal repercussions when you drag someone in your clout chasing.
Can you end up in jail?
Yes, you can. You can.
Yeah.
Slandering and maligning someone's character, and especially when they're able to show that they did lose jobs, they did lose valuable connections, they did lose a source of income because of this lie. Now it attaches a figure to your clout chasing that you hadn't thought about.
Yes.
And the courts are alive and well in these scenarios because they're looking for someone to set an example with. Like, you just cannot be moving mad in these streets.
Yeah.
So you want to do your own shenanigans, do them by yourself.
Okay, so saizi venye technology inaendelea ikiadvance, AI ina change. Najua ushasema we're learning as we're going. But do you think that, like, especially policymakers are keeping at par with the changes? And do you think truly where we stand right now, especially as Kenya, let me speak for us Kenyans, do you think we're at a space where we're able to tukishafanya our part, we're doing everything Shanice has told us. Be careful, take care of yourself, OTP, nini. Do you think we're at a space where even the law now cares about us, and these policymakers are keeping at par with the changes that are happening, and you guys are starting to find better ways to evolve as well and protect us?
Yeah.
Should we put our trust in you people?
Of course. I mean, look at these faces.
Wanasemanga lawyers, mawakili.
Hey, we are nice people.
Ile uongo inakuanga hapo.
Lakini hiyo tumetoka tu kusema sahi hapa na one of your guys, there's 3 sides to a story: my truth, your truth, and the truth. So we don't lie, we just advocate for our truth. Okay. But essentially sahi people like to say that the law plays catch up to technology, but we're overlooking the fact that we do catch up. We get there to some point, right? But now, especially since we don't have regulation governing AI at the moment, there are some things, some acts zenye zinashikilia baseline kwa sasa, for example, the Data Protection Act and the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. Those ones at least help to set a basis before now we develop an AI law, which has actually been tabled in Parliament in March of this year. It's the AI bill. We're discussing, or rather legal minds are coming together to see how we can regulate AI. But as at now, we have the Data Protection Act and the Cybersecurity Act, Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, that one. They advocate for, when we are dealing with AI, have a human element. Because just letting a machine make all of these decisions, saa zingine iko na bias. And there's another episode, najua ujawatch ya Women's Day, nime post choose, you want to watch?
Trust me, naenda kukaa nizi watch zote.
So that one episode I was discussing on how AI can be biased, especially against marginalized groups.
How though? Oh, I saw you post about it yesterday.
Yes, because...
And that blew my mind because that's not something I've even ever thought about.
Ushajaribu kuongelesha ChatGPT your mother tongue?
Sijawai.
Haijui.
Hata Kiswahili names haijui.
Inangangana.
Yeah.
But it was these AI tools that we have were trained with the West perspective in mind. Even unajua ina learningi on data set that is being fed. So if it's being fed data set ina exclude a whole continent essentially, it's going to reproduce that bias. Okay. So having a human element there helps to kind of iseme, okay, I can see why it arrived to this decision, but this is not correct. I was watching, there's a movie you need to watch, it's called Mercy. It's like a futuristic kind of movie where society was falling apart and they decided to form a mercy court, which was based purely on AI. And then this AI had access to devices. Now, because it's a legal thing, you are required to sign in your devices to that system. It has cameras everywhere. So in the event you go before it as a court, you're essentially guilty. You now are the one who's going to prove yourself innocent. Exactly. Now it lets you use all of its data sets, na databases. It's at your disposal to prove that you're innocent. And then as I don't know if that's better or more dangerous. Know, right? So as the movie goes by, the main actor is a detective, and he was being framed. Yeah. In all honesty, he was being framed. Yeah. But the evidence was laid out so well for this court. Baka inakwa. Now that is where you think of, he went with his gut and knew I didn't do this and I will uncover it one way or another. And they got to a point even the system was glitching because like hadi ilikuwa inasema, I do not understand but I comprehend. See? Yes. There's an element that is missing that needs to be
your human touch.
Exactly, which is what now we are focusing on, especially now, for example, NTSA, the system, fines. Yes. So how will this system get to decide umefanya crime, imesha kuwekea mpaka fine, na ni ulipe hiyo fine ama hata utaweza ku-access NTSA, na ni fully automated?
How it's the same concept as the movie. Now it's you to start kujitetea how you...
Bana.
Okay.
So, there's this other example. KBC, walikuwa nataka kuwekea employees wao mandatory facial recognition attendance system.
Yani mtiaji bana.
Wakaenda kotini and it was stopped because they said it violates their rights to privacy essentially. And this is like it's your permanent
You don't even know where it's going and who's going to use it how.
Exactly. So apart from now, the hizi zenye zinashikilia kwa sasa, that is what they advocate for. And they always say when you're dealing with personal data, especially sensitive personal data, which we have learned today is those biometrics, ID, fingerprint, iris scans, your voice even, it gives a higher risk rating. Kwa hivyo, kuna more hoops you have to jump through to justify why you're using people's biometrics.
Okay.
So kama system ni mpya imekuja, how is it going to affect people? You do a privacy impact assessment to see how are users going to be affected. How is their data going to be safeguarded? Who is having access to it? How long are they
these things being
keeping
done
it?
in real time? Ama tu ni ma story.
Imagine they're being done in real time. Of course, now there's that struggle between innovation and actual privacy, but we are seeing the courts move towards that direction. Kama Shifsha sahi, court ilisema juzi, they need to close the gaps that they didn't do your privacy assessment na kutuambia security safeguards. They close those gaps kwa sababu wenyewe wakiitoa ina destabilize the whole health nini.
Yeah.
Let's even think of Huduma number, that NIMS system. See, that's why it was stopped.
Yes.
They said you did not show us how you're going to safeguard people's data.
So ikifika kwa hiyo part kama ija meet requirements, null and void.
But now the act says you're supposed to be doing these things from the beginning. Ukijua unataka kuintroduce hii system, si unajua inataka kufanya nini?
Yes.
Na how the technical aspects of it and the back end, do that assessment beforehand. Show us hizi ndio risks zenye tunaona ziko involved kwa hii system, na hivi ndio tutazimitigate.
Oh, you mean before you introduce it to the...
Exactly, before you
okay.
even roll out. It's supposed to be something done before. Sasa ndio tunaona tu kichwa ngumu ya companies saying, si
we'll learn on the job.
So now the court is reaffirming what the act says. Apana, we can't learn on the job. You can't put people's biometric and sensitive personal data at risk on we will learn on the job. It's not good enough. So the standards are slowly being raised. And apart from ISO Billy, there's the National AI Strategy that was launched in March last year, and it focuses on ethical AI development, human oversight, and making sure that even as we progress into this digital age of AI and everything becoming AI motivated, watu ndio wako hapo kusema. And I'm very happy to see that African techies are starting to develop AI tools based on our cultures.
Yes.
And that is definitely more refreshing.
Yeah.
It's all in my episode, guys. Go look at that. Women in tech, when tech is biased against women.
Yeah.
That episode was so enlightening because I also discovered a lot of things I didn't know, and I was like, okay.
This is interesting. Yeah.
So we are trying legislatively. We are very much trying. And another thing that I've seen being heavily looked at is consent. The act says consent should be free, informed,
continuous.
Yes. But now, tuchukue example ya WorldCoin. Yes, watasema ilikuwa free and informed. But when you look at the nitty-gritty, mtu amesign unasainishwa kikaratasi kinatoshana hivi and you didn't even have time to read through it.
Yeah.
And then there's the element of ulikuwa unalipwa. So hiyo ni free kweli ama ilikuwa coerced?
Hiyo ni coercion.
Exactly.
Because that even the people they're targeting, they're not going to billionaires to tell them I'll give you 7,000 shillings to. They're going to someone who's never seen 7,000 shillings at a go like this in cash.
So things that keep happening again, that's why I'm saying we're all learning as we go. Yes, utasema consent, but of course kuna mtu atajaribu kubypass, atafute ka loophole, but we can clearly see that our courts are thinking about us and considering these things.
That gives me a lot of reassurance. So now in the case of somebody like, let's say my mom, whatever happened this week. So she's gone to the police station. She's reported. Safaricom are not much help, actually. They just... alienda au wase wa DCI kwa police station ndo alimsaidia akaweza kurecover simu akaweza kuwasha blah blah blah, but now I'm seeing she still has to go to the office. She said the
Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ODPC. So she still has to go to the ODPC ama aachie tu hapo sasa. Sasa hapo ina depend. Unajua ukienda kwa ODPC lazima uko una accuse mtu.
Okay.
So you una accuse nani? If the DCI is able to find the perpetrator, then yes.
Okay.
They can even go to more than the ODPC. They can even go to actual court.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sawa. And I know you feel very helpless, like when you're in that situation, when you've been hacked or when your information has been shared, especially even in hate crimes, like your nudes has been shared, someone is scorned, so they want to make you feel bad about it. We've not really talked about the mental and emotional implications on the people who go through it, but just briefly as we wrap up in summary, say something to the victims of online crimes, people who are actually going through this. How can they deal with it? How can you, I don't know if this is something you guys will, of course, as a lawyer, you talk to your clients and tell them, usilie, fanya hivi. So what are some of the things you can tell us, how to conduct ourselves and how to maybe essentially handle our emotions during that time, even as we're dealing with the law, or we're going to all these offices and we're going to report these things and seek help, or even when we're coming to you?
So I like that you brought this angle, because again, I touched on it in that episode. I keep talking about Women's Day. There's a community of women out there. I think people like shaming victims so much so that unaona mpaka personality ya mtu imechange. They've stopped dressing the way they used to. They're not as social as they used to be. But thankfully, there are women out here who have survived this, and they are actively working to help survivors. I was trying to find, there's a woman I had found in my research. Oh yeah, right. Her name is Malkia John. She is a Kenyan engineer and a feminist tech advocate, and she focuses on using AI, data science, and digital tools to strengthen the response when it comes to online gender-based violence. She's founded a institution, I think I can call it, called Sauti Salama. Sauti Salama supports survivors of such things, and they give legal aid, they give mental health care, free of charge, I think. And they're
accepting donations, of course, probably.
And they've trained over 500 plus women and girls in digital security. So it's not that you just go there now to be helped. You even get additional, training on how to keep yourself safe. So I think we can focus on the bad and the ugly, but it does us no good. We can choose to focus on being positive, getting through it. There is help out there. And an example, this is something I would really pitch out there for women to use and look at. And they're available online, especially if you've gone through online gender-based violence. And they really help a lot of women to regain their confidence after all of that, because it can be really scarring.
I truly appreciate that. I want to finish, but I have one question out of topic. Okay. Shanice, the last time I saw you, you had gorgeous... I'm not saying now your hair is not gorgeous, but you had really gorgeous long hair.
Yeah.
Can I ask, hii tu ni off topic, ni nini ilifanya ukate nywele yako?
Roberta, nawe unajua kunitupa deep end. But contrary to public opinion, contrary to people in my workplace who are convinced I'm going through something, this is not a midlife crisis. I'm not even midlife yet. But I mean, I like cutting my hair often. I think I cut my hair every 2 years.
Watu uko na nywele mzuri, uko na hizi tabia. I just feel like cutting. Kesho anakuja kama amekata.
But I recently turned 30.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So I just felt like I needed a new look, I've had a lot of changes in my life recently, good changes. And I just felt right, It's kind of like a rebirth and venturing into the new
starting
decade.
Over.
Yeah.
You look absolutely gorgeous.
You're
rocking that cut. I wish I can do the same thing. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe. I'm going to the salon after this.
Short hair.
I'm going to the salon after this. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for coming through, Shanice. You have opened my eyes in things that we really overlook. These are things that we do every day, but we don't really put much thought into it. We just think, it's automatic. But clearly we are seeing people are getting smarter. And if you're not catching up, ni wewe utahakiwa.
Itakuramba.
Yes. So this is so beautiful. Please tell us where we can find you on social media. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube and what you talk about and what you post and where we can find you. And when we need your legal services, how we can reach you, how we can ask you questions. Sometimes maybe hata tunakukatia. Si ati tu tunataka mambo za Zalo, saying, I want to know, can I take you out for a drink? So tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube now. That is a young, it's new, a new venture. You can find me on my socials, Shanice Naisenya, Shanice.Naisenya on Instagram, Shanice Naisenya on TikTok, and on YouTube, Shanice Naisenya.
So what do you talk about on YouTube?
So, I mean, privacy is a passion for me. And I think we never really think of how it affects our day-to-day or even our different facets of life. Kila mtu anafikirianga ni compliance, ni makampuni, ni policies. But it's really not. And I like finding privacy in the mundane, I like to say, in the day-to-day, in the simple things that you think, nah, it can't.
Yeah.
Really? Huh? And I don't even plan essentially at tutaongelelea hii. Sometimes passion just leads where it does. And I think I started from a very structural place. I started talking about data protection and what you need to know, letting professionals know where they can go if they're interested in the space and want to venture into it. I looked at the regulator and what their determinations look like, mafines inapeanwa aje kwa wase wanatafuta, kupewa mafines. And then the recent episode is something that really just kind of sprouted close to my heart, looking at women and how tech is biased against them. And that was a really... that one, it really touched somewhere. Because can you imagine AI tools are misidentifying you as a black woman? You look like a man to them. Car systems are being manufactured with the male physique in mind. So women are 73% more likely to be injured in an accident.
Yes.
Voice recognition has a problem recognizing high-pitched women's voices. Or even accents. And health systems kama sahi apps zenye unahitaji clock your period and your different cycles, unakuta you have to pay, as in some of these things that we don't really think about but are affecting women on a day-to-day. So it also shows how we have avenues for women who are interested in tech and AI to just venture into them and find your passion, guys. We need you. So essentially that's what I talk about.
I was just thinking about how Siri and Alexa are women.
And
they yani si ni mbocha di kwa. But I want to close there.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to the conversation or any question you think you may have for me before we close? You don't have to ask me anything.
No, actually, I don't. I just
unaweza tuma salamu nyumbani
for having me on the show.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I enjoy talking to you. Banta yako inakuanga easy.
Thank you so much for coming on. Let me tell you guys something. I've never told her, but let me tell her now. On the first time I saw Shanice, it was on, I do the Daybreak show on Citizen TV every Tuesday. So she joined us for the show. We were having an episode on just this conversation, how to protect yourself on online. The first time nilingia hivi kwa studio nikatani hivi niko na Shanice, I was so shocked by your beauty.
Oh, girl.
I was so, is shocked the right word? I don't know. I was like, oh my God, this girl is so beautiful. I have to become her friend. And then we sit on the panel and we're talking, and she's even smarter than I even ever imagined. So it's so beautiful to have you on. I love being around, first of all, I love being around hot people, and I love being around really smart people. I love being around people who know more than me, people who I can learn from, people who are, so Kenya nasema tu ni beauty yako, not just physical beauty. I mean, your essence is what drew me to you.
I like that.
And I had to have you on this segment because I needed you to come on and educate the people on what is actually happening and is so important. So thank you for making time for me. Asante sana.
Anytime. You can call me anytime.
Thank you. You have to come back though. There's going to be feedback and guys are going to ask more questions, and I'm sure venye tu umesema tech inaendelea kuevolve, AI inaendelea kuevolve. There's so many questions that are going to come back. So please, I'd love you to come back again.
I can promise now this is like my second home. I really like their chairs. So
Karibu sana. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout the hour. My name is Roberta Bobbie here on Heartfelt with Bobbie on Dialogues with Jaquero. I truly appreciate you guys, your feedback, even the really mean things that you say. It's fine. Just say, I've missed hii conversation ya Shanice. If you say mean things about someone, you will be found.
Don't
If
come
I
for my friend.
if I see those mean comments telling me sijui what na ini touch ni feel vibaya kwa heart ni decide naenda kukureport. Thank you so much for leaving your feedback. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for watching throughout the hour. Follow me on social media as well and on my blog Love and Orgasms where I tell you my other stories. But ningependa sana kumaliza hii conversation hapa. Kwaheri. Bye.
HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you'll discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today.